Oh, What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Dead Funny Review Show. I'm your host, Chris, and today we're here to talk about Netflix's new horror movie, Fear Street, Part 1, 1994. So, this will be a quick review show, but I said I want to talk about these as they came out. I believe they're going to release, it's a total of a trilogy. 3 movies, 1 week apart from each. So we'll knock out all 3 of them. I'll give you a quick little view on it. I've obviously become the resident horror person guy here, so why not dive into it, right? So, as a kid, I grew up reading, and whenever they came out with the actual like live action TV shows, watching them as well, they're all pretty fucking terrible. They do not hold up well. They just do not hold up well. But all the Goosebumps and R.L. Stine stuff, he wrote a 3-part book on the Fear Street series, which is Netflix adaptation or real live movie adaptation that they're doing now. So thoughts first, I want to give out some are just, I guess, a moment of silence. I don't know. I feel so bad for I can't think of the actress's name, but she plays the other worker in the ice cream shop. Robin, I believe her name is, in the Stranger Things series. But I feel so bad for Robin because I feel like she gets typecasted to play these roles where she's just some young girl working at the mall. So, obviously, the movie starts out with her working at the mall. We kind of get to see the whole first aspect of, you know, the murder that's going to happen and everything else. All in all, I would give the movie roughly anywhere between like a 6 to 7 out of 10. It was good. It was worth the watch. It was really interesting. My biggest issue that I had is that the movie is being based off of old school slasher films, which I completely get. For those of you who don't watch old school slasher films, there's sex. There's sex. That's always like a huge thing. Like Jason Voorhees, all the counselors are fucking each other while he's drowning. Freddy Krueger, everybody's fucking everybody. Like, it's just a big deal. It's a big deal in horror films. There's always sex. And a lot of that, I think, and who was it? I want to say it was an episode of the Comic Book Men podcast where they had the guy who plays Freddy Krueger come in, like the old school Freddy Krueger. And he talked to them about the fact of, well, back in the day, the horror genre was really kind of like the people who got kicked around, whatever. So I think putting sex in the horror films back then was an easier way to sell the movies, just not based off the horror alone. So yeah, there's that. But my problem with this one, so first off, all the actors are above the age, so that's good to know. But especially with Netflix's Cuties, which I did not watch, but all of them are above the age, which is great. But they play off characters that are in high school. So when you get to that sex scene, and nothing actually really happens, but it's like multiple scenes together where 2 chicks are together, this dude and his chick is together, and then this one dude, I guess, is just gonna masturbate. It was fucking weird. That part specifically was fucking weird. But whatever, it is what it is. It was just a weird scene because it was like these are all kids, and then like you see them like take off shirts and you see bras and stuff, and it's just like you're living it up that these are kids, and now we're going into a sex scene. It kind of stops right after that, which is great. But once again, like all the actors and actresses are above age, so it's fine. But it was kind of take you out of the space a little bit. Anyways, so but like I said, classic horror films. I get where it's coming from. I just don't think that this probably was the best time to do it. I don't know. That was my biggest hit. Other than that, there wasn't anybody out of the main characters, as far as the survivors, if you will, that I really cared about. Like, they all just seemed like, I don't know if I want to say it was bad acting or what, but man, dude, I just didn't care for a single one of the survivors. Like, that they just, It didn't strike me as people I was like, oh man, dude, I really hope they make it out of this. Like, I mean, I actually had a lot more love for the killers because of how, like, the way it was done, you know, and obviously full spoiler alerts. I probably should have started off with that, but yeah, spoiler alerts. Fucking gonna start kind of going into this a little bit here. But anyway, so like the whole thing is this witch who was killed. Basically, she cut off her own hand and buried it somewhere, and now she's forever able to curse this land. And basically, like every couple years, these killings keep happening, where it's like a totally normal person just goes berserk and starts killing people, and basically it's the witch possessing them. Well, when that person dies, apparently she gets to keep them as like her puppet, like her possession. So basically, what's happening is that like all these people have died, but she's summoning them back as her minions to go and fucking kill. The whole thing is based off of this chick accidentally touching one of her bones and disturbing her resting place, so she wants her to die. She has to die because she officially like had like these flashbacks where she saw who the witch was, so she's like she has to die, and that's just apparently the thing. So what was interesting to me is that these killers aren't animals, like they're not beasts, I guess I should say creatures. They're humanoids, they're humans. Now, they might be dead, but they're still, like, you know, human-type looking figures. They used blood a lot, which I thought was very interesting. So, like, for instance, once they find out that, like, the reason this one chick was trying to kill this one guy is because he had the chick who accidentally touched the witch's shit, her blood was on his shirt. So it was like she wasn't really going for him, she was going for the shirt. And it takes them a while to figure this out, but once they finally do, they start using that to their advantage, where like, you know, they kind of fill up like a bucket with water and get her blood in it, and they mix it around, and they start putting blood to kind of like track them all there, because then they start noticing that the killers aren't after them, they're just after her. They have to kill her. So using the blood as a tracking thing in this movie I thought was very interesting. But it didn't take away. I liked it. It, like I said, did not take away. It's very interesting. So they get all the killers up in a room, trap them, fucking light the whole thing on fire, then go out and extinguish it, which I appreciated that big time. Because there's so many times where it's like, we'll just fucking light it all on fire and fucking walk away, haha, let them all burn down, and we're safe. No one ever goes in to verify. Like, I always feel like if I was in a killer movie, and a killer was trying to kill me, and I killed that, I'm making fucking sure. Like, I'm going to look sadistic in that movie. I'm going to fucking chop them pieces up. Not leaving. They are not leaving. It's not happening. So, I really appreciated that they did that. So, they go in, and that's when they find out that, of course, didn't work. So, she's still able to do what she needs to do. So, it's like I said, it's definitely pretty interesting. Definitely worth the watch. I'm excited to kind of see how all three of these are going to play out. It's been so long since I've read the actual books that I honestly don't remember them. So this was kind of cool to kind of like sit there and just kind of watch it, and then like certain things be like, oh, I kind of remember reading that a little bit. So we'll see what happens. They got some pretty interesting people in there to play certain characters and stuff like that. Like I said, just the whole one scene was kind of, like I said, kind of out of nowhere, and it just was like, eh. But I mean, we've seen it before, though. I mean, it's always that like, this could possibly be our last night type deal. I mean, it was the same thing with fucking the It book. You know, a lot of people watch the movies, but what they forget about the actual book is like they all fucking have sex. They're all kids. You know, they all make this fucking pact or some shit, which is fucking weird. So yeah, I don't know. Like I said, just that whole thing, I was like, yeah, I didn't care for that. But now, if they would have been adults, it would have been fine. But once again, the perception is that they are children in school, like they're in high school, and one of them is even significantly younger than that, because one of them is like the fucking main chick's little brother. So I don't even know what fucking grade he's in, and you're just like, this is weird. So, anyways. Other than that, like I said, the killers were pretty interesting. They had, you know, your kind of screamish type base killer, where it's the dude running around with a skull mask. They had the axe type killer. Well, what was really cool, so this is probably my favorite part of the entire movie, is when the younger brother is explaining. So I guess I should say this. Out of main characters, there's the main chick. I don't remember any of their names. I'm sorry. That's why I keep trying to like chick and younger brother. out of all the people, there's this one chick who basically the story is somewhat about, and basically she's in a relationship with this other girl. This other girl's a cheerleader. She's in band, and she's a cheerleader for a different school. They're in two different towns, but they're right next to each other. And this town is always known for all these murders and shit going on. So people just think everybody over there's crazy, poverty, and all this other shit going on. When really it's this fucking witch curse that's fucking doing this. Anyways, so she sees that this one football guy is kind of like, you know, hugging up on her and grabbing her ass and stuff like that, and that she's fine with it. So she's just like, fuck it, whatever. So she wants to break up with her, and that's kind of how the movie starts off. It's like, I want to break up with this chick, da 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 da. So the chick that she breaks up with, she's the person that the killers want. She's the person that touches the witch's bone. The other chick that's in band, she has the little brother, and then she has two friends. One is the guy that was masturbating in the fucking bathroom, I guess. And then one is the chick who they're the same age, same class, but yet she is in love by the end of the movie with the younger brother. I don't know. That part was fucking weird to me too. I didn't get that either. But either way, that's kind of our main cast, right? So what was interesting to me is at this one point, this is my favorite part of the movie, is the little brother is kind of piecing this all together. And basically he's kind of like one of those, I guess like the normal age fucking woman that sits at home watching Netflix these days is what that audience is targeted to. The whole murder case files and all this other shit. He's one of those kind of people where it's like fucking knows like all these fucking murders and has like all this paperwork up. And he's been following this story, these conspiracy theories and shit like that. So he's putting all this shit together, right? So he puts it all together and then starts like laying it out for him, like duh. Well, they actually go back and show like, if you will, you know, fucking flashbacks of like certain killers doing these killings all the way back, which was pretty cool because like you can really see where a lot of these killers took inspiration from somewhere else, like Jason and stuff like that. So that part was really cool to me. I enjoyed that. It wasn't a long part, so it's pretty quick. If you're not paying attention, you'll definitely miss it. I think it was only like 2 or 3 minutes, but yeah, easily my favorite part of the movie. But I gotta say, my other biggest issue with the movie is like they basically find out that there was one chick who survived one of the killings, and she had actually saw the witch. So she was one of the people that needed to die. And what apparently had happened was that she did die, but paramedics brought her back on a scene 2 minutes later. So because she was considered dead, she was able to survive and then live a normal life, or so they thought. Finding out at the end of the movie that that's not true. She did come back, but she still has a lot of fucking problems going on with the witch in general. Which we end up seeing from the main chick, or well, the main chick's girlfriend, should I say. So, I understand the aspect of dying. Now, here's where with the whole dying and then coming back to life. I understand that was kind of like okay, this is the way to get out of this curse. I get that. My problem is the execution. They end up drowning her, which was a snap decision they had to make at the time because the first decision was just ODing her with a shit ton of pills. I just don't know, man. Like that to me, that was a hard thing to watch. Like they're counting out all these specific pills, and they're like these high school kids who like know what all these fucking pills do, and like take all these pills and this thing, and it's gonna make you feel like you're high, and then take all these pills together. This is gonna bring you really, really down and make you really feel sick, and then you have to wait exactly 5 minutes before you take this group of pills. And we're not talking about like 2 or 3 pills. Like every group of pills that they were putting together was like fucking 10 or 15 pills. It was like holy shit. So it was really hard to watch that too. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm just fucking different. The whole OD aspect and everything else just seemed like it was unnecessary, I guess, especially with the fact that they ended up having to just drown her to kill her anyway. Because one of the killers show up and stop like the last dosage of from happening. So they had to end up fucking just going and drowning her anyway. I mean, I'm not one of those people who are going to act like I'm blind and don't know that fucking, obviously there's fucking drugs in school and shit today and fucking kids can get access to it. I completely understand that. That's not where I'm going with it. It just seemed like it was unnecessary due to what ended up happening. If they would have just stuck with that all the way through, once again, I still feel it's unnecessary, especially whenever you're looking at something like kids messing with all this stuff and then also ODing off of it. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm a dad now. Like I said, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I just, like I said, I felt like it was unnecessary. especially with the fact that, once again, they drown her. So they end up drowning her. Unfortunately, 2 of the friends die. The chick who liked the little brother, and then the fucking jack-off guy. That's what we're going to call him now. Jack-off. He died. And, yeah, they ended up saving everybody. But then at the end, you know, it shows, like, the 2 girls are alone in the room. And, you know, they're fucking listening to music and all this other shit. And all of a sudden the phone rings. And she goes out and answers it. And finds out that it's the chick that they tried to get a hold of who died and came back to life. And she's like, yeah, we ended it. So that, to me, was where some of the bad acting was. The bad acting there, and then the bad acting when the chick talks to the cop. I felt like it was forced. Like, there was just... She's like, well, we ended it. Like, this chick's literally telling you, like, no, you didn't end anything. Like, it's still going to be going on. Like, I came back to life. You called me to get this verification. I'm calling you to tell you, like, it's not over. It's not over. Be careful. And she's like, we ended it. Like, you know, like, we did what you couldn't do. It's just like, it just seemed forced dialogue. And forced dialogue kills shit for me big time. Same thing with the cop, where, like, the cop's like, hey, I understand. I didn't listen to you whenever you came to me trying to tell me about some of this stuff. I'm here listening now. Tell me, because if you don't tell me, the way this report's going to be written is like you had 2 friends who were junkies because we found pills everywhere, and they went in, they robbed a hospital, took an ambulance because we have both of them on camera doing it, and they also went in and robbed this grocery store and then ended up fucking accidentally killing each other. And he's like, is that really how you want, like, your friend's memory to go down? And she's like, no, but they're dead. And then she goes on, like, this long rant about, like, I guess we're just a poor town where junkies and da-da-da-da-da-da and all this other stuff. And it's like, I don't know, like I said, it just seemed forced. It feels like the whole police report thing didn't need to happen. Like I said, I don't know. It was weird. But once again, it's a part 1, so we'll have to see what the other 3 parts are. I don't think that they're all going to take place in the same time era, so I'm pretty sure we're done with that. But the police... The weird thing with the policeman is that it seemed like he knew what was going on. He wrote a note at some point that said it's happening again, and then put it in a, like, slot in a door. But we really didn't explore any of that and know where that goes. So I guess we're just going to have to wait, find out, and see what happens. But other than that, that's pretty much all I got for you guys. Like I said, I give the movie, like I said, about... I think I'm leaning a little bit more towards a 6. Now that we've been kind of sitting here explaining things. I think I'm leaning more towards a 6. So yeah, 6 out of 10. Definitely worth the watch, especially if you want to watch the entire series. It's on Netflix, so if you got a Netflix account, obviously you can go watch it there. It's not a huge long one. I think it was like an hour. Something like that. I can't remember. But yeah, like I said, overall, it's pretty good. Not nothing too crazy. Hopefully the other ones are even better. So we'll see. But yeah, Chris, your resident horror movie fan right here, came to do this review for you. And I'll do the ones for the other ones, like I said, next week. It'll just be week after week after week. You'll see these pop out because that's when these movies pop out. And then I know that's going to overlap the time when the Resident Evil animated series comes out. Me and JoJo will be watching that. We'll do a review show on that as well. So hopefully we got some good episodes coming out for you guys here soon. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, make sure you like and subscribe. Also turn on those notifications. That way you get notified next time we upload another video. Hit us in the comment section below. Let us know your thoughts, views, or I guess let me know any of your thoughts and views on the movie, if you've seen it, if you're excited moving forward, if so, or if you're just an R.L. Stine fan and you read the Goosebump series, what was your favorite Goosebump book? Because I loved those fucking things when I was a kid. Read every single one of them, owned so many of them, it was ridiculous. But other than that, I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. See you next time.